Happy Wednesday, y'all. How's it going, y'all? I was going to come on here a little earlier. However, I had this weird noise problem on my board. It wasn't like a buzzword. It was just like the noise floor was like crazy high. Crazy high relative to like what it is now. Like you should hear just a little bit of tiny sound, just like normal background noise. But it was like 20 dB louder. Turns out it was my CXM 1978 for some reason. No idea. Still trying to figure it out. So when I sold the Chroma console, I had an opening on my board that was kind of peculiarly shaped, and so I had to do a little bit of rewiring real quickly. And so ultimately what I ended up doing was I had to find another MIDI pedal, because that was like the first pedal in the MIDI chain. So instead of tearing apart my entire board, I have a Walrus M1 that I haven't been using. It's just been on like it's been in a box over there. But I literally just needed MIDI pass through. So right now I have a Walrus M1 just at the very, very corner of the board. It's a cool pedal. It's a cool pedal, but I'm literally just using it so it can transfer MIDI through, which is kind of silly. And I'm sure I probably have a better solution than actually using up a pedal that could be useful. But here we are. What's going on in the world of guitar gear? Looks like, what's it called? GFI Systems is releasing a new pedal tomorrow. It seems kind of cool. What are y'all's guesses on what it's going to be? It was honestly just really funny, like what was going on. Like, what the heck is going on with my rig right now? Like, I normally don't have any noise, and I even plugged in another pedal, my Endorphins Ghost, which is a little bit too big for that spot. I even plugged that in to be like, okay, let me see. Maybe there's a weird ground loop, but for some reason, the CXM 1978 just didn't want to comply. So, no idea. Kind of bummed about it because it's a killer pedal. I like it a lot. If you guys want to hear me in full glorious illustrious stereo, I'm over here on YouTube as well. Thanks y'all for the love on the captures. There might be some cool news coming, like possibly as early as next week. It's not new captures or anything like that, but it would make it a little easier for y'all to get them. Willis Kim. What's up, dude? Thanks, man. So I'm playing for a Christmas and dessert women's event tomorrow. And so I've been preparing little by little. I'm running tracks on it. We're playing the Jeremy Riddle Joy to the World, which should be interesting. That's the... Where is it? I also did a little redesign of my rig. Nothing all that crazy. But I kind of adjusted my workflow. David Yossi, you and I have talked about this in great depth. Yeah, so we're doing that version of it. And it's going to be cool. I'm not sure what guitar I'm going to play yet. Honestly, I might play this one. I haven't played this one in a while. And it's also going to be my second outing with the Tonex since, honestly, since I'll be coming right from work, as much as I really would have loved to have used my amps, I'm just not going to. So I'll be using the captures that you're hearing tonight. So the cat's out of the bag regarding the case study Last Light. That's a pretty cool thing. I was one of the very, very fortunate ones to demo out and do some like beta testing on the prototype for it. So y'all have heard me use it. Y'all have heard me use it before. And it sounds killer. So he did a very limited release to a small group of people who were all kind of helping him out with it. And I got one. So I'll have that one coming in. It'll be here this Friday. The funny thing is that there might be a slight possibility of me having two Kilt-ish or Expandora style drives and then two Overdriver-ish style drives on my board. Yeah. So, yeah, it's fun. Really, really happy with how the drive turned out. It's going to be killer. Joseph Irving, can we hear the neck pickup? Y'all. Vintage guitars are freaking noisy, y'all. Especially near computers and stuff. Neck pickup, yeah, sure. Bridge. This guitar sounds killer. Doozy Sam, which amps are you using through the Tonex? I'm using my AC30 in my basement. That's what I'm using currently. Which will be available very, very soon for purchase on a website. This is the Solo Dallas Schaefer replica, the Storm. This is the Daily Driver. This is those two stacked. Overdriver. David over on YouTube said, sounds awesome. That sounds good. Doubling matchless amp for Tonex. Cool. Yeah. I like my matchless Tonex captures too. I'm actually really happy with them. The only thing that and I've said it before, that I need to address and kind of fix is the volume difference between the matchless Clubman and the third power compared to the AC30 in the basement. The AC30 in the basement are quite a bit louder. But like I said, turn the volume down and you'll be fine. So I went back to a style of board setup in terms of like signal routing on the PVC that I initially tried a few months ago when I first got the PVC. So I've told y'all I've gone back and forth between using like straight up like songs and presets and all those things that are predetermined. And I still liked it. It was still cool. Hey, David, do you want to hop on the call? Wow. I'm in work mode still. Do you want to hop on the stream? Let me see if I can invite someone. Oh, it has been a long time. Y'all, I actually, I don't think I'll be able to add someone. Oh. Yeah, I'm going to invite some people. So when I first got the PBC6, I started trying to create something that I first saw from Kenyon Reed, where he has like a tempo page, which like you can adjust the BPM. Then you have these pages of presets for your pedals. Oh, you're right. David Yossi. I was talking about David Lee. So anyway, I had experimented with a setup like that and wasn't all that crazy about it. Like, I think I was having some weird issues with like IA commands on the RJM and just getting weird problems. So then I switched back to creating, song presets and all that kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. And that's still great. I still have all those files to go back on without any issue if I want to do that. And then out of the blue, I wanted to try something different. And so what I ended up doing was I kind of went back to that I recreated that same thing, but I took some additional features and functions that I liked from when I was doing like song preset type of things, right? So one of the things that I liked was, so like currently I have, starts on a tempo page. After that, it goes to my loops. After that, it goes to LVX presets, where I can, quickly go from a quarter note to a dotted eighth to a ping pong to a tape delay right? And if I hold down the button, it goes to like the next sequence of effects. Right. And then I did the same thing with the what's it called? With the Mercury X and with the H90. And it's been fun because it's you know, even when I'm playing with like a full set with like normal song presets and everything, I'll still change things and kind of switch things up and whatever. Like I'm still doing that. So I was like, well, let me just see. Let me try it again. And it kind of worked. So yeah, and so what I also added in addition to that was a page that I mostly use for MIDI control to turn on and off my MIDI pedals. So everything's off. Right. I have that, but I also have the bottom 4 buttons where I can add in presets. Hold on, let me see if I can add in David. David! Can't hear you yet. Can't hear you yet. Sorry, David. Give us a second, y'all.
There we go. Should be working.
There you are.
Yep, using this stupid Logitech thing.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I was just talking about like how I've been, just you know, the ever revolving door of trying to find workflows that work on the RJM.
I always have so much respect for people who use RJM functionally because I just couldn't get into it. Like
Really?
I tried, man. It was just, I think I'm just really, I think my mental capacity to learn MIDI stopped around the days of like the DL4 era. So that's like
Wait, no, the DL4 didn't even have MIDI though.
I know, but that's my point. Is like that was as much programming as I could handle. Was like the fact that I can go to looper mode, hit the half switch, which if you know, you know.
Oh, David, you're a dinosaur. I did not expect this.
The
I did
Asian
not
G.
expect this. Yeah. We got a question on YouTube. Tanya Ong. Where do we find your captures? Never knew you made them. Yeah, so I made them. When did I make them? About a month ago, or I got the Tonex this summer, and just to try things out. And then I was kind of in the secret place working on some. Originally, I wasn't necessarily going to sell them, but I had a bit of a change of heart just because I've talked about this before. Psychologically, when things are free, they're undervalued, and I was like, look, if I can, you know, sell them at a very reasonable price point, as well as, you know, include discounts for buying bundles, I think it's more than reasonable. I'm not trying to make a crap ton of money on them. I'm not even really trying to make it a business necessarily, but you know, I have 30 years of experience playing guitar and stuff, so I think it's worth something. And whether that's $10 per capture, $30 per bundle, or whatever, you know. Yeah. So currently, Tanya, I don't have a website yet, but there might be something in the pipeline very, very soon. But in the meanwhile, if you're interested, you can come find me on Instagram, shoot me a DM, and I'll send a PayPal link, and we can. I'll send you the files from there.
Dude, what's been going on with you, man? I know you just got back from Disney not too long ago, Thanksgiving and all that.
Yeah, so wife and I went to Orlando for my birthday. Surprise, funny enough. And no, we did this after hours event at Universal Studios. Just got away for a few days, and it was awesome. Just kind of. Now we're in the holiday blur.
Dude, no doubt.
There's actually been quite a bit of stuff, honestly. Like there's been a lot going on that I haven't really shared a whole ton of. So like at church, our original main worship leader, he ended up stepping down to go full time on his solo music stuff, which is awesome, and we're super happy for him. But then there became kind of a vacuum of what do we do, and so I took on some of that role of like planning and preparing and set building and all that kind of stuff. It's honestly been kind of awesome. Like I really like that kind of stuff anyway, and I really like giving people like freedom to try new things. Like I'm gonna text the band. I don't know, maybe I'll talk to them this weekend about it. I was like, look, think about any idea that you wanted to do this past year, and let's give it a shot, just to kind of see what's Let's just try new things. Like it's a new season, and I'm experimental, and I want to I wanted to continue to experiment as much as possible.
Yeah.
And especially in terms of how like we can grow as a band and try new things and explore new sounds and songs. And like I'm one of the things I'm really really big on is rearranging songs, just to whether that's breathing life into old songs or trying different arrangements for new songs, just do something, man. Like we need creative outlets, and when you play Awake My Soul for the millionth time, you're like, okay, let's try this. Let's just do something different. Like it doesn't even need to be like a crazy arrangement change, but just literally something different, something that will get the people in the congregation thinking, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. What about you?
Kind of got more plugged in at church now. We obviously had the holidays stuff. I went to York with my which that was exhausting.
Are you playing a million services?
No, thank goodness, man. I'm only paying like 2 Sundays a month right now.
Oh, cool.
Keeping it pretty chill. Right now, I'm really just trying to get through like wedding backlog, and then
that's right.
Working through.
I always forget that's your main thing.
Yeah, most people don't even know that I shoot, which is what's funny.
Yeah.
But I really want to focus on music this coming year. Kind of been like seeing my way out, trying to figure out like alternatives to making music work. Which is why like I posted that whole thing of, like I can't do this stuff for free anymore. Like it's just I can't justify cranking my amps at home like without any monetary value to my wife at this point.
Yeah.
She's been super supportive of it too, which is nice. But yeah, just playing a lot. I mean, you know this, but like I got this Custom 24, which I'm super amped about.
I did not know that. I did not know that. No.
Yeah. It's a 25th.
Bro, our group chat has been lame for like 2 months. But to be completely fair, it's been lame on my behalf too, because I've been like ultra focused on the gym, and I did a powerlifting meet a few months ago or a few weeks ago, and so like yeah, we've all had a lot going on.
But yeah, so the PRS, I actually got rid of the Frank Brothers recently. So that, and this was kind of like a sentimental piece, sort of, because I had a I had a Modern Eagle 25th anniversary that I had to sell to fund our wedding.
Well, that's fair.
So so this was kind of like full circle, because like I still get the bird. It's 25th anniversary, 5708s, 10 top. So I thoroughly enjoy this guitar a lot, and it's been really.
Dude, PRSs are freaking great guitars. The only people that think they're not great guitars are idiots. Like they're just like people who like like it's like the one it's the kind of person, the 1 millionth person who likes offset guitars. Like that's the kind of person who hates on PRS. It's like, bro, shut up. Like they're killer guitars. They play great. They're like set up from the factory. They're basically flawless.
Yeah.
And like, dude, I think their pickups sound great too.
Dude, I love the 5708s, which is what this one has.
Yeah.
I was gonna get the DGT. I forgot why I didn't though. Well, outside of the fact that the one I was looking at was way out of my price range.
Oh yeah, dude, the DGTs are interesting because like they're definitely one of the most in demand PRS guitars, and
Yeah.
for a good reason. They're incredible. They're really, really incredible guitars.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna say, what made you lose interest with? I shouldn't say lose interest, but you did a pretty big trade getting rid of that thing. I didn't think you would.
I'm trying to remember what I did, dude. Like this year,
Because
this
was that
year,
the
say
trade that
what?
you did? Was that the one with the Yamaha and the?
Yes, yes. So it was that this vintage Yamaha that I have right over here, which that's a killer guitar. Plus the one of the big body Gretsch guitars. So it was about an even trade. Like that Yamaha's worth probably about $1,000 to $1,200, and I think I got $2,000 for the Gretsch.
Oh, that's
So
not.
no, I mean it's like, and I'm trying to remember what it was. I think I sold it because I got this guitar, and this guitar became my main guitar. And sonically, this guitar and that guitar were kind of filling the same void, but this is like forever guitar, you know,
Sure.
or like childhood dream guitar type thing. And but to be fair, I would still love to get a DGT again. Like having that like dual humbucker thing with the PRS trim, so good.
Dude, the PRS trim is next level too, which I'm realizing. Like now that I kind of use it more,
Isn't it, dude? It's
it's
like it's kind of like in the world of tremolos, it's kind of like PRS, like Duesenberg. Like there's some like the top companies who make their own, like, and they're super smooth. Like they always come back to tune, especially if they're set up well. Like they're great.
yeah, it's I don't know. My wife, which is funny saying this, she said that guitar looks small on you, which
is
is
that
bizarre.
in comparison to the Franks brothers? Because that's kind of a funky looking model.
Uh, I remember holding it. She was like, "Why is that guitar so small?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm super short. Like, this is normal." And my buddy
Yeah.
who plays with me also has he has a McCarty, I think.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
McCarty's are great too.
and
The
he's like
single or double cut.
double.
Okay.
It was before they did the 594, and
Dude, the
he
594, man, that's a
it's a good
there
guitar.
it's a good guitar. Yes.
Good
It's a
guitar.
good guitar. They yeah. And the scale length is kind of just like right in between the PRS 25 and the Les Paul. It's so good. It's such a well thought out guitar.
Man, it's that's the thing with PRS, man. I don't know how they're doing it, and I don't know why people don't purchase them more. To be honest, because even the S2 line, like
Yeah.
dude, the McCarty S2 594 is still a good looking guitar,
Yeah.
and it sounds great. Like even the DGT SE sounds awesome,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Isn't that the Rhett Scholl like an like disagreement thing? That's his big point, is that like they're all so great guitars, they have no vibe, and like they're whatever. It's like, and I want to say one of his videos was like the best value is like the SE or the S2, because it's like on the S2 you get an American made guitar that's still made in the same factory with just slightly not necessarily lower quality components, but like more heavily manufactured components, whereas the core models have a lot more hands-on work and definitely have
Right.
like a higher tier to their electronics and hardware. But it's like, dude, just they're great guitars. And honestly, I will say the fit and finish on the core models are definitely, the question is it worth the extra $2,000? That's up to people to decide. But like,
That's
I think
still
they are.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's like that was the thing too with the red thing is like so the story with this guitar was so I traded Ryan Clunk, my
Okay.
Frank Sir um, Antique S.
Okay.
Not even 10 seconds in, dude. This is the second Sir I've owned. I was like, this isn't it. Like the
Mm,
Sir to Rhett's point, super perfect, zero vibe. Like I cannot stand Sir. Like this is the second
interesting.
guitar I've used, and this I thought with the antique being a relic, like style, it would feel more open, and that was not the case at all. And so I don't know how he's getting that um, correlation to that, because to me the PRS feels nothing like a Sir. Like
Yeah. Well, the PRS feels more like a classic guitar in
yeah,
general, or a classic Gibson ish adjacent style guitar for the most part. Um, yeah. I liked Sir. I liked all the Sirs I've played. But honestly, for me, when it came down to it, it was like in the world of like those Fender style guitars, you have Tom Anderson, Sir, then James Tyler,
Right.
and it's like James Tyler and Tom Anderson are much nicer guitars for not that much more money, relatively speaking. Let's be real, the jump from $3,000 to $4,000 is not a huge jump,
Right.
and it's like if you can get like the guitar that will like speak to you and resonate with you for decades, and that's a Tyler, and that's $4,000 versus the S type Sir or whatever, it's like that's $2,500 or $3,000. You're probably better off waiting and getting the real thing, or not the real thing, but like you're probably better off getting the thing that's going to inspire you more, which is really the story of this for me. It's like this has always been like the guitar I wanted since I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
And it still speaks to me. The PRS did for a long time, and it was still killer. But it's like when this came out, I was like, all right, and even with all the weird little things that are kind of annoying about it, like it's the pickups aren't wax potted, so like they're very sensitive to noise. But when you're playing live, you want like ultra sensitivity, right?
Right. Yeah, actually, it's funny too because I'm on the lookout for this is very specific, a early 2000s wine red Les Paul Standard.
Okay.
But very particular that color because one of my buddies actually he lives in Houston, plays at I think Second Baptist Dallas or Houston or First Baptist with a guy named Joey Witham.
Okay. You said Wortham?
Witham.
Okay. This doesn't ring a bell.
But he was like a buddy of mine that played with my cousin in a band years ago. He's like 15 years older than I am.
Yeah.
But he had this red, like it was a wine red Les Paul Standard with the plastic ABS style like Gibson case with the blue felt inside.
Okay.
Like you probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
very.
yeah.
But he had a wine red Les Paul, and I always loved it.
Yeah.
And that for me is like the childhood guitar of like that.
Oh, that's cool. There's another guitar that Gibson made in the early 2000s that I've always kind of wanted to get again. It was their double cut Standard.
Dude, I remember that.
Yeah, like I had like in my head, like it was always the Les Paul double cut Standard in a like a gold burst type color. Yeah. The only weird thing about those was that was like Gibson's response to PRS.
Right.
And all of them were 24 fret guitars, which this felt a little strange. Like I've even played them and they play okay, but visually it's like it just feels a little weird playing a Les Paul with 24 frets.
Yeah. I think the weight thing for me too is still a thing, and not because I can't handle it, but I think I've gotten adjusted to
the Frank Brothers, which is probably like 2 pounds.
Well, the part I had with that Novo, dude, that thing was super light.
Yeah.
At like the 7.5 mark or lower.
Yeah.
But thankfully, my buddy Mike in Dallas still actually has the Frank. So he just texted me actually before this. I was like, dude, I absolutely love that guitar. I was like, dude, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Because that guitar is really good.
Yeah. There's a mutual friend I think we have. What's his name? Who?
Elliot.
Yeah, Elliot. Elliot's all of his Tom Anderson guitars are unbelievable,
dude.
Like, all of them.
I've been meaning to go down there too because
man.
You know his yellow Nash, right? That he has.
Yeah.
You know the story about that?
No.
He bought that on my bachelor party.
Oh, really?
Chicago. Dude, he played it and he fell in love. I was like, bro, how are you gonna buy a guitar for yourself on my bachelor party?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny because in some ways that makes sense. Like the cool thing about him though is that he buys things and he keeps them for forever.
Oh yeah, dude.
And he's so generous with his guitars. Like, I mean, he let me borrow that the Gretsch, his green Gretsch, for months, like months upon months upon months.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but his Tom Andersons are definitely like, oh my gosh, these are fantastic guitars. And they're all like offsets too. And I'm not a huge offset guy. but they play good, and they don't feel neck heavy, whatever. Like, yeah, those are definitely guitars I would probably look to add to the collection. Ryan Clunk said, "David, tell Jimmy what you said about the string spacing on the Sir."
Oh, that's too wide.
Okay.
It was way too wide. Like, and I like big necks. I cannot lie. Um, but that neck, like the string spacing, just felt really, really wide.
Interesting.
I don't know, man. I can appreciate it for what it is. I just am not into it at all.
Do you think that it is it has more to do with like, oh, on this type of guitar I'm expecting this kind of width versus on other guitars? Like my Les Paul, I wouldn't say it's thin. Like I wouldn't say it has like a thin like spacing. But it's also not terribly wide. My vintage Gibson has really narrow spacing though. Like it feels that feels peculiar. And then like my I want to say I think my Telly has slightly wider spacing. But it's like I just kind of like you expect the guitars to do what the guitars do, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I was under the impression that Sir's pretty consistent across all their models because when I had the Sir Classic T, what's crazy is I bought that thing for like I think $1,400.
Oh my gosh!
Right, this is back when I also bought a Matchless SC Mini and a Durock 112 cabinet for $600 local. Like back when you could really get like a stupid deal.
Dude, Dallas, man, you guys up there, you guys just have too much gear.
Dude, there's so much gear up here, dude. But I had that guitar, but I didn't feel like the string spacing was off. It felt fine, so I don't know, man. But string spacing is also a delicate thing. I feel like, especially as I'm older. Like I'm looking for something specific, and I either know that it's there or it's not. Like there's no warming up to it anymore.
Have you ever like measured that to see exactly what it is?
I haven't, man.
You definitely should. Once you find the guitar that feels perfect in your hands, you should like get that measured to be like, oh, this string spacing, this neck radius, this rear neck profile.
Like 9.5 is like really amazing. I 12 makes me play a certain way, and I associate it with kind of like the Robin Ford-esque style of playing in my head. So I play a little slower on 12-inch radius necks, which is interesting because usually flatter means faster. And then like 9.5's awesome, 7.25. I still think the Silver Sky neck is awesome, despite the stigma behind it being a Strat. That's a PRS, but
yeah,
I think
Silver Sky is a killer guitar though. It's like I when I sold my Strat, I was like, oh, am I gonna miss it? I was like, honestly, probably not. Like, not really a whole ton. But I would love to get a Silver Sky. Absolutely.
But I think you're onto something though, because I had the EJ Strat.
Okay, yeah.
Can get around a 12-inch radius on a Fender. That it was just like really flat, and I just didn't like it.
Really? I don't know. 12-inch feels most natural in my hand because I grew up playing the Les Paul. I don't know what my Veritas has. I'm assuming it's probably 10 or 12. If I had to guess.
I think it's 12. Yeah.
My Strat when I had it, that was 9.5, and honestly, I love Strats and everything, but like when kind of push came to shove and I got into the nitty gritty of it all, I don't like 9.5. I'd rather have a 12. Even on it, like it doesn't really matter to me because it all comes down to like, you know, like if you know on a Strat you might want the action to be a certain way, and then when you get to that certain point, I mean, maybe it's just a little bit too low, or when you're bending, and then you hear the notes kind of ghost out. It's like, come on, man, like, dude.
Which I've never heard, at least on the guitars I've had, but I feel like I've really lucked out with my guitar tech too. I've never had any of my guitars fret out with, no matter what the radius was.
Yeah.
Which was really fortunate in my case, but because I think that this PRS is a 10-inch radius.
That makes sense, I think.
Custom 24. Needless to say, though, I mean, it feels like home. Yeah, 10-inch radius.
Okay. Yeah. And so what was the reason for getting the 24 instead of the 22? Was it just it was available?
It was available.
Okay.
It was. I would have loved to get my Modern Eagle back, but the prices on those are excruciatingly high.
Yeah.
Uh, and the one I had before that was a stop till. It wasn't the trim.
Yeah.
So this model, I mean, it's still
Yeah, and honestly, custom 22s are surprisingly difficult to come by.
really.
Yeah. Like I've like when I was on the market for before I got to DGT a few years ago, I was looking for a custom 22 and for some reason like it was I kind of felt hard to find. Like yeah, I don't know. Like there's a lot of custom 24s, so that's kind of like their flagship guitar. A lot of DGTs, a lot of the single cuts and all that kind of stuff. This was before what was what's the model again? The 5 something or whatever?
594.
Yeah, that was before the 594 came out. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong because I feel like years ago when I was looking for it, I couldn't really quite find them because I was looking on the used market. Looking for to buy and sell and trade. Obviously, I could have just gone to a Guitar Center or bought it from Sweetwater or whatever. But
I
back
do
then,
feel like
I was thinking differently.
I feel like that era too of PRS with custom 22s was that era when they were like sometimes doing binding and sometimes not.
Okay.
PRS is like the standards, right? Which most people on you probably don't even know.
Yeah.
PRS standards when the CEs were out too way back.
The CEs are really cool guitars though. They're really really cool guitars. The bolt-on neck, 24 or 22. Okay. I know what it was. I was looking for a CE 22.
Oh, those are hard. Yeah, those are super.
Those are hard to find. Do you know another really really good PRS is the PRS? I think it's called the Studio.
Yes, I know. It has the 3 pickups, right?
Yeah, it has like their what not wide range. It's their like their skinny looking kind of single coilish.
Those are 2 on
they,
MDF. No, that's GNL.
Yeah.
And I used to.
But those guitars are killer.
Narrowfield.
Narrowfield, that's right. Yeah, because they're kind of somewhere in between like a P90 and like a wide single coil. But they're hum canceling, right?
Yes, they are.
Dude, like there's some videos I saw that guitar. And I'm like, dude, I want to get that guitar because it was also around the same time when they released the Mark Lettieri, the Fiora.
Yeah.
Because that's also a really cool guitar. Honestly, they've had a lot of wins these last few years. Like the Mark Lettieri guitar is killer. Them re-releasing the Studio is killer. Yeah. Although on that one, on the Studio, I couldn't find a reasonable color. Like for some reason, and on the used market, there was like lime greens and like denim blues. I'm like, guys, who are you? Why? Like who's buying these? It's like wasted wood that like I want a lime green guitar because blues lawyer.
It's like that. It's like guys who refuse to buy a Fender but still want seafoam green.
Yeah.
Like take it to the man.
Yeah, I think okay. On the topic of colors, if I were to get a Silver Sky, I would probably get it in that Roxy pink.
Yeah,
like that seems to be the color for me for that guitar, and I think one of my buddies has one. I don't remember if it's exactly that color, if it's a different color, but yeah, dude, Silver Skies are dope.
They're super nice, and they've dropped a lot in the used pricing too right now.
Ooh, okay.
I think locally there's one that I saw that was like for $1,300. That was like tungsten or mock sand, which I also.
Oh yeah. It's the specific colors that are like yeah. I want to say like a standard like white one is like pretty cheap, or like all of the like gray-ish colors tend to not really go for super high value.
Yeah, which I actually love the tungsten, which works out in my favor, I guess. But
yeah.
That guitar is so good, dude. I'm just what I'm curious though is if PRS is planning on doing a Fiore SE.
Ooh,
that's
yeah. But honestly, the Fiora isn't that really expensive of a guitar anyway. So, like especially on used, like dude, for a while there, you can get them for like $1,400 like all day.
Let me see, because I mean, new they're still like $2,800, $29.
Yeah, but that okay, a Les Paul is like $3,000, but like who's gonna pay $3,000 for a Les Paul Standard?
You'd be surprised, dude. People pay.
Dude, when I bought my first Les Paul Standard in 2000, I think it was. When did Gibson go into new ownership? 2019, I think. So, or like maybe no, it was the end of 2018 and then into 2019. So they released the guitars for 19. I bought the 60s Les Paul Standard from Sweetwater for like $1,700. Bro, Anthony's here. Hold up.
All the bros.
Is this Boys Club right now?
What up?
Hey!
What we talking about?
We're talking about PRS guitars and
Hold on, let me leave. I've actually never owned one.
No. We're talking about Tone Press, chips,
Oh,
and
God.
and
Chips? Like bag of chips?
no, Tone Press chips.
Oh, the tone press chips. I thought you said like tone press chips, like like separate.
Yeah. No, actually, no.
Okay.
We were talking about PRS.
Just
What are you
playing
up
a video game.
Oh yeah, what are you playing?
What is this? Star Wars? What is it? Jedi Survivor? Y'all know that game?
Nope.
No? Someone does.
I don't have that much leisure time in my life to play games quite yet.
You do both, like me. I got my PlayStation controller right here.
But do you
My monitor's right there.
but do you lift, Anthony?
Not at the moment. I was, but you know.
Dude,
Like-
it's like it's the adulthood curse of like having so much that you want to do, and like between like picking up kids from school, then unwinding, making dinner, going to the gym.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Yeah. No time. But you make time for the things and you compromise for other things.
Yeah, like playing video games.
Ooh, David Yossi just said the Chroma console just got there today.
That you sold it to?
yeah.
Yeah, David Yossi.
Nice.
He was the first person who messaged me and said, "Hey, yes, here's money." I'm like, "Cool, you get it."
He's
Did that board come in yet, Anthony?
no.
No,
I think it'll be here tomorrow, though, right?
I thought it was gonna be there today.
No. I mean, I got mine over here, just
Oh,
waiting.
okay. What are you gonna? What are you planning on using it with? Or using it for?
I'm just gonna basically put everything on this one onto that one, just without a riser.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
What board?
go riserless for a little while.
No more tears. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Anthony, I don't know. I think you may have missed it earlier. So I had my board set up earlier, and I put since I sold the Chroma console, I put the CXM 1978 on there because it's kind of about the same size, a little bit bigger, but it worked. Well, I connected it all, and I had this stupid freaking noise that like it was just like it wasn't like a buzz or whatever. It was just like 20 dB extra noise floor, just kind of like hiss on top of everything, and I was like, what is this? What the hell is going on right now? And I couldn't figure it out. Like I just ended up taking it off, and right now I'm using the Walrus M1 just as a MIDI pass through, just so I can have like my MIDI to go.
You
Because I
just
had
have a random M1 sitting around.
Yes, I do. Yeah, actually, yeah, it was. I had one. I want to say I bought it like 2 or 3 years ago, and just haven't sold it because honestly, no one wants to buy them anyway.
Man, talk about an interesting flop of metal too. Like the whole M series, I feel like was like the bastard child of like all things modeling.
Really? You think so? All things modeling? What do you mean?
Like just in sense of like, it was like they kind of went 80% digital and then just stopped.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I
So
mean?
yeah, I kind of feel like they were like right in between some of the other like smaller builder like MIDI digital pedals and like Chase Bliss. And it's
Right.
like if you like the Chase Bliss workflow, then it can probably work for you. But if you don't like the Chase Bliss workflow, like this guy, then it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, because the ACS one still sounds great. I just really thought it was counterintuitive to have like a lot of this switching stuff, right, to get into other sides of whatever.
Really.
Uh, it was just really annoying, and it didn't help that their user base was complaining about the lack of update algorithms with the R1 and the M1. And I had the D1 when it first came out. It was a great sounding delay, but if I pulled up a patch, if I don't write it down, I don't know what delay I'm on.
Yeah.
Don't remember
It's-
anything. Yeah.
There's just like I'm all for using your ears to a degree. I am not knowledgeable enough in delays to really know like, oh, that's a 2290, right, or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
Their
I think
R1 was. I never liked that R1. I don't know about you
really.
guys. I remember I bought it when it first came out, and it was just like very. We joke about Strymon narrow, but there was something different about how narrow that one was, and just some of the algorithms. It just. I know they updated it, but I saw one of the guys that said that they updated it. Still says it doesn't really sound that much different. So I don't know what they did to it.
With the MX
Yeah.
or the R1.
No, the R1. Yeah. No, I haven't had the MX. Jim Eamon, we joke about because I don't have the Maris anymore. So from the 100% to 75% stereo.
You'll get
He fell. He fell.
he's only 79% saved.
Narrow is the gate. That's what it is.
Speaking of 100% width. Have you guys heard of stereo before?
But you got no, you have like David, you have the Maris still, right? Or do you switch
Yeah,
back?
I have the LVX and the Mercury X again.
Yeah, see, it's just me. It's just me.
I mean,
you and half the Kenyan chat.
Yeah, that's true. To be fair, I was like the first one to start that went back, and then Brady went back, and then now a bunch of the other guys went back.
Well, no, I thought Brady went back as like the day he got his board back. Yeah, I think like the day he got his board back from Anthony, Brian O'Neill.
Ryan,
Yeah, like the day he got it back, I was like, all right, I'm switching it out. I'm like, bro, you just spent like $1,300 on a board rebuild. You're stupid, but I love you. Hope you find your dad. But I don't know. I mean, it's whatever.
I think I'm gonna get the MX. I'm just waiting for the timeline to come out.
Yeah,
That's all I'm kind of waiting for. But there's still the MIDI stuff I've been told is terrible. So
Still?
I don't know. Maybe eventually I'll go back to Maris. I don't know. I do whatever until it doesn't sound good.
Yeah, because you did you ever sell the H90 and come back to it or whatever?
I did, yeah. Sold it and came back. That's why I got it back on the board now.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, dude. Honestly, the H90 is, in some ways, I want to say it's kind of a sleeper because it's like it's not one of those pedals that like does. Well, actually, let me rephrase it. It's not one of those pedals that has like crazy awe-inspiring sounds like a really, really great Big Sky or Mercury X or whatever. But dude, it does everything like 100% well.
Oh, I like the reverbs on the H90 are really good too. I really enjoy them.
I agree.
Yeah.
And old H9 patches can be imported into it too.
The only thing that sucks because I was messing with it yesterday, like there's like no tremolos on it that are good.
Really?
I was messing for a while. I could not find any tremolo. There was like only like a few algorithms anyways for tremolo. But yeah, it was just weird. Oh crap.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm telling the chat that the Instagram feed is gonna stop in like a minute.
Oh yeah. Got that restream hour.
Yeah. But it goes pretty much indefinitely on YouTube though. That's why I do both. So I like the I have a dual trem preset, which is 2 stereo tremolos.
On the H90?
Yeah. Then after that, I have like a Flint style. This is like a mono tremolo. So yeah, I don't know. I like it. It does what I need to do.
Yeah, it took me a minute. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't dig far enough deep into it.
Yeah, are you trying to find like what kind of specific kind of tremolo are you looking for?
Don't really have a specific. I was just messing with the tremolos.
Yeah.
I was messing with I forgot which one it was. I was mainly messing with the instant tremolo. I think that's what it's called. Trying to do. I wanted to have it where I could have a foot switch that would go slow and fast.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So, and it would be in time with what the clock was ending.
Yeah.
It was just struggling to kind of nail that down yesterday, but I ended up coming up with something that was cool, but it's with the pitch. I think I don't remember which. There's so many algorithms on it. I don't even remember all of it. But it's like a pitch, and like one side, the right side, it was doing like a glitch, like every like 5-6 seconds, and the left side was more like a tremolo. So it was super wide, and then I threw like a flanger on it, and it sounded really cool.
Yeah,
like something that I would mess around with at church.
Yeah. I have this cool tremolo on the Mercury X.
Oh yeah.
And I have two. So I use on the RJM. I use a 1 foot switch where if I press it and then I hold it, it makes the stereo image wider, and also brings down the mix a little bit, so you get like a much wider stereo tremolo. But if I just do like, so like this is the sound by normally. It's kind of a pretty hard da, 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 da.
Yeah.
But when I hold it down, now obviously you can't hear it in stereo, but it's like it kind of goes from this to like that in terms of width.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a little cool sound.
I'm just waiting for David to join the chat, bro. That's what we're waiting for.
David who?
David to join the Kenyan chat.
Oh yeah, David, you should join the Kenyan chat.
He doesn't want to switch from the GT1000, bro.
You don't need to switch. You don't need to switch anything.
I got everything at this point. I figured why switch? I just get bored, so rather than just redoing my board, just get another, like, just have it available. Like, I have the core on my table right now, and the QC's in my car. I need to grab that too, but I don't know, man. Kind of like, why not just get everything so that way if I get bored, I switch around and then come back to it, Because the boss, I will say, every time I come back, I'm actually really surprised about how good it sounds. The 32-bit float thing is really a interesting conundrum for me.
Yeah, that's how I feel about my amps every time I go back. Just
every time you come back. What are you using right now?
My AC30 in Bassman. It's been like the most widely regarded from front of house and broadcast. Like they love that combo, and it's.
You're using that at home right now too.
See what? Right now?
Is that home? Yeah.
Oh no, I'm using Tonex right now.
Oh, I was
but I would like to. I'm sure. I've talked about wanting to build out like a cabinet space in my attic and run lines up there and everything, but yeah, not right now.
I feel you. I want to do that.
Hot up there.
See what?
I feel like it would get hot up there.
Yeah, That's fine. That's why you would just insulate it more because they're just speakers. You can put speakers in hot
Oh,
boxes.
you're putting the speaker. Yeah, I thought you meant like the whole thing.
No.
I see what you mean.
I would do. So really, what I want to do is I want to put my matchless cab and my Baseman cab up there. Kind of put them into like a insulated thing, which should also insulate from temperature too. The speakers don't really put out heat, so it's not really that much of a concern, especially if you actually insulate it. Then if it's 115 degrees up there, it might be like 90 something degrees in the little cab area, and that's fine. That's like garage temperature.
That's like outdoor festival temperature.
Not in Texas or South Florida. That's yeah.
So are you fully converted to amps now, Anthony?
Yeah, I still got the Tone X's on the board for home stuff, and
Yeah.
like I got to play somewhere Friday, but I'm not taking my amps because it's just too much work.
Yeah.
But at church, yes, 100%.
I'm so happy for you, man. Like, yeah, I love it.
And I'm just rocking a friggin' the C2 AC30.
Well, here's the thing, dude. The
$600 AC30.
The C2s never sounded bad. It was just freaking pretentious bros. Here's the thing. Like, the 6TBs, they sound better, but like, what's the margin on how much better they sound?
That's
right?
what I've been trying to figure out. Like, how much better would like a $2,000 matchless? Like, is it gonna be that much better? Like, to my ears on stage? Like,
well, they're different things though. They're different amps.
Yeah.
Like,
well, obviously, yeah.
But like in terms of comparing like a 6TB to the C2, the only thing I really notice is that the 6TBs are cleaner because there's no like, oh god, there's no like preamp gain or whatever. Like, it's not like it's like a single normal old school single channel style amp, right? So they're a little cleaner sounding.
Yeah.
And I personally, well, granted, mine's different because mine has a solid state rectifier. I think they're a little punchier personally, but C2 still gives you the Vox thing, and if you have the Vox thing,
Okay.
like
Sounds like a box to me.
how do you have yours? How do you have yours set up?
Like where the things are, like the knobbies.
Yeah, the knobbies.
I'm running top boost channel, master wide open, and I'm using the volume to obviously do the level. It's probably 9 o'clock.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, right around the edge, edge of breakup. Tone, I think at noon, like tone, what is it? The cut. And then treble and bass. Actually, I have the treble back a little bit, bass up a little bit more.
Yep, same here. Exact same here. That's when I first got mine, I messaged Kenyon about it because I just wanted some like advice on like starting points because they're kind of difficult to like set up. Like Voxes, like they have a sound, but like if you're going for unless you want it to be like, if you're trying to get like a clean chimey type thing, they could be kind of difficult to work with in terms of dialing it in because everyone wants to go for like super bright, pristine thing. But then when you add drives and layers to it, then all of a sudden you get all this crazy harsh high end. So he's like, like I want to say he said start with the bass, basically get it to where like it sounds like too bassy, then back it off because then you have body. Then he's like, then start with the treble and then basically bring that up until it's a little bit too harsh, then bring it back a little bit, and then just use the cut to like add extra high end.
Yeah. I just landed there. I didn't even ask.
Yeah. No, it's
that was pure luck. That's what that was.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm doing. So I was just even with the mic placement, I was like, that where it's supposed to be.
You know what you're doing.
I mean, when it comes to amps, I really don't. I haven't had an amp in like 7 years, 6, 7. I bought the HX Stomp when it first came out, and I sold my amps. And even back then, I still didn't know what I was doing because I remember I had a Fender Hot Rod, not the Hot Rod, the Blues Deluxe thing. That was like a Hot Rod version. And I wouldn't even play on the on the bridge pickup because I always thought it was too bright. So I always stayed in the middle because I was like, oh, that's the best. This was like 6 years ago. Literally, this was like 6 years ago, and I didn't know. You know, so I
Like
just kept my guitar in the middle.
it's like who uses a bridge pickup, guys? Like
I thought it was exactly. It was always too bright to me, and then obviously the neck was
that's
too
so
dark,
funny.
so my guitars always stayed in the middle.
Oh my god!
And I had a Reverend, and I didn't know what I was doing, you know. So I was just like, you know, I really just kind of figured stuff out.
That's so funny. I wonder how much of that was like mic placement or something.
I don't know. I had an Egnator Rebel 20 for a while too. I don't know if you guys remember those.
Yeah, I remember them. Those were those were the amps that had like two different styles of channels.
Yeah, you had both
together.
the 6L6 and the EL84. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And no matter where I
it's
turn
like
the knobs, it
poor
all
man's
sounds the
divided by
same.
13.
Dude, I had a tweak.
It is.
Those
What were
were
you saying, David?
I had the Tweaker 15 way back when they first came out.
Okay.
Those were actually pretty freaking gnarly.
Really?
Like,
Yeah, I only ever played them in like real small music stores. I've never actually owned one or dialed it in.
yeah, because I had one and I used it live. The only thing is it kind of falls on itself if you turn it up too high.
Mm.
And I think like I wish I had known back then. Like I don't need to dime everything if I just like pull up the mic preamp up a little more.
Oh, that's great.
Because it was actually a pretty good amp. Like I think for the money, especially back then, you could get the head for like $250.
Yeah.
I think for like a starting guitar player, great tube amp to start with. And the 112 cabs all came stock with P12H30s, which I like.
Oh,
So-
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are great speakers.
Yeah, it's like that's a great cheap cab to buy for like $200.
Yeah, that's cool. And Anthony, you're also running the White Lightning as well.
Yeah.
So White
Yeah.
Lightning and AC30. That's cool.
Yeah. I like it. The White Lightning's really cool. I like I mean, I don't really have anything to compare it to because I really didn't know what I was doing back then, you know. So, but it sounds good. So,
Yeah. Well, the White Lightning is it like a Blues Deluxe basically?
it's a hot rod.
Oh,
Yeah.
a Hot Rod Deluxe. Okay, but there's something special about the speaker in it or something like that.
I think
Yeah.
I think it's just a speaker, right?
The Celestion Neo dog, the Century, which
Yeah.
fun fact, if you want a life hack to find more of those speakers so they don't make them anymore, look for the Vox 80 VTX series, like the blue ones, the Valvetronics, the first gen. All the VTXs came equipped with those that are Vox branded, but it's the same identical speaker.
Hold
There's
on.
a guy to pick one up from.
I'm gonna do some reverbing real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 212. There's one locally here for like $200, and I've been trying to snag it from him, but it's like 60 miles from me.
Oh, boo-hoo. You don't want to drive
It's Texas.
Well, I don't-
the big state.
an hour and 15 minutes. Whatever.
Jimmy's just mad because there's videos up here.
Shut up.
I think Kenyon said that the only
have better-
difference in the White Lightning is that speaker.
We have
Yeah.
better churches down here, though. What's the name of the model? Vox Valvetronics what?
Oh, the Vox Valvetronics 8060 or 8120 VTX.
AD60 VTX.
Yeah, or the 120s. The 120s might be easier to find. I've been lurking through used Guitar Center to see if any guys out there are mislabeling them, because the VTX, there's two ways to tell them apart. There usually is a badge, but if it's not there, the back of the amp is also ported. Like there's a cutout. Versus the VTs, which don't have that speaker, are the full close back.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I keep a close eye on. Yeah, so I keep a close eye on like the mislabeling on Guitar Center used.
Okay, so wait, so it's the VX, not VTX?
No, VTX.
Okay.
This is like the first modeling amp they released, like way back, and the VTX version has the better speaker, which is the Celestion Century Neo, which uses the neodymium magnet.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I'm not seeing all these are like fully closed back.
Yeah, so that's not it. Oh, actually, sorry, I have it reversed. The closed back is it. The one that's not closed is the older one. That's the crappy one. Don't get that one. The ones that are sealed are the ones that have the Century, like Vox Showroom, the website. talks about that too.
Interesting.
Because I was looking into those speakers because that's what John used on Where the Light Is tour with his Dumbles as well. So he had those paired with a Celestian Gold.
Interesting.
So those speakers at the time when I was looking into those were still in production and they stopped, and I don't know why.
Huh.
Cool. And they never made a new speaker to reissue them at all.
Interesting. Yeah, the world of speakers is still relatively new for me. So on my first kind of diving into that was replacing, or when I got my turned my matchless Clubman into a 112, and I picked up a Celestian Alnico Cream, and then I bought a Celestian Alnico Gold for my Bassman when I turned that into a 112 combo, and those two speakers are still some of my favorite speakers that they've ever made. It's like they sound so good.
So wait, your Bassman isn't it's not the reissue?
No, my Bassman's original.
I always think you just got I guess a tweed cab or something.
No. So I have a 66 Bassman head and the original 212 cab that came with it.
Yeah.
I bought that for like $1,600 a few years ago. And sometime last year I converted, because you can take the actual inside parts of the amp out like with like 3 or 4 screws. It's super easy, and then you can literally just move it into a new chassis. So Mojo Tone made a 112 kind of combo conversion thing, and so I literally just plopped it in, screwed it in, put the speaker in, and hit the road. Yeah, no, I love, because the Bassman with a 212 closed back cab, which is what they came with. It's actually interesting because it's a little cleaner, and then there's a lot more low end that gets kind of built up because it's a closed back cab. And I've kind of leaned into preferring open back cabs, and obviously for size, I just wanted it to be a 112 just because.
Yeah.
And, dude, it's killer. It's killer.
Yeah. I want to get a Bassman. For sure.
I mean, getting a head in a cab is still kind of a decent option. Like you can get heads for probably $800 or $900, like vintage ones. And they're different too. Like they're people, like I've said it before, like Bassmans are kind of aggressive amps. Like they're basically like KTM 45s.
Yeah, because they're more martially, right? Well,
yeah.
KTM 45.
Yeah. But they're 50 watts, so like they're loud and they can be kind of clean. But like even like so, like what I did with mine was I brought it to my amp tech and had him modify it to 63 specs. So it's a little cleaner. It has a little bit, or let me rephrase it. It's not cleaner. It has a little bit less like top end gain, and so it kind of it's perceived as being cleaner. If that makes any sense. Because before, like I would set the volume at 2, and it's like rock.
David, you have a top hat? You still have that?
I had. I got rid of it recently. I traded that for the Z that I have now.
Yeah.
And then I have my buddy's Fender Tweed Pro that he hand wired because his deluxe Hot Rod Deluxe, the amp of the night, blew up on him like at church. Because I think he did something wrong, and it ended up blowing up, and he was finishing up his last class at school, and so he got a schematic from some local guy here who had a hand-wired point-to-point Tweed Pro circuit. And so that's actually what's sitting, let's see, it's back there, over there somewhere. So anyway,
somewhere.
But it's a great amp. Like, it sounds really awesome. And I just threw a Cannabis Rex in there, so the plan is once I get time to get church, I'll bring the Z and the Fender up there and use that as kind of my mainstay.
Nice.
Once I get those properly captured.
Does your what church are you attending now?
Oh, we're at Gateway.
Okay. Are they? No, and they do have amps there, like that you can use.
Yeah, all the campuses that have amps there, but they're using Vox hand-wired AC30s and a 65 reissue deluxe.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
good staples.
Yeah.
You could get something going there.
I so when Anthony was getting amps, I had always recommended him to get an AC30, just like literally any of them,
Yeah.
and a basement. I would add the deluxe on there too. It's like the deluxes are just any era of the deluxes is a great amp. Like it can be like the new Silverface reissues or the 65 reissues.
Yeah.
Or an older one, or like a Silverface original one. Like, dude, they're killer amps.
Dude, I was always surprised when I just threw 57 on a deluxe reverb, how great it sounded.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and then throw Nobles in front of it, and it's also even better.
Yep, you're gold, man.
I've never played one, so I don't even know.
Yeah. No, so
I've played it on the Helix.
It's the same thing. It's exactly the same. Like, there's no difference, guys. Yeah. No, the Nobles is great. I mean, I still have my Nordland right over here. I have too many pedals at this point, and I keep collecting them because I don't like selling them. But like,
flexing over here.
Dude,
got too many pedals.
It's literally. I have so much gear. Got so much gear. Just so much gear. Dave Ramsey would be proud.
It's all owned and not on loan. Dude, actually, you know what? I need to send this to you, Jimmy, so you can try this out too.
What is that?
The mullet drive.
Oh yeah, you told me about that a few months ago.
Yeah, it's still a great pedal. And I actually got Jeremiah's overdriver.
Oh, okay.
This
go.
is
The Sound of Justice one, right?
And it runs at 18, which is really nice. So
that's cool.
So I recorded. Actually, I'll have to send you the recording later, but I recorded everything with just that pedal, the PRS, and the Boss at 18 volts. And dude, it sounds well. I can't compare it because mine, which is the one you have now, was apparently effed with the mods of whoever did it. So I don't know how accurate it sounds to the original, but
wait, you're saying my overdriver is effed?
No, before you got it, because I sold it to Greg.
Oh yeah, because Greg had to fix it. I remember. Yeah.
I was like, I had no idea, dude.
Like something with the tone pot or something was messed up.
The gain was like the wrong pot or something like that, and so Greg swapped it out before he sent it to you. So I never got to play the overdriver like the way it's supposed to be.
Oh, gotcha.
So if it's anything like this, though, it sounds really awesome. But I do know that with the 18 volt, it doesn't have as much of a like if I gain it up, it doesn't fall apart as much. Yeah. Like it holds together so much better. So you can almost do like a fuzz face with the volume rolled back kind of thing going on, without having to roll back your volume. So
gotcha.
I really appreciated the 18 volt option for that.
Yeah. The fuzz. So the fuzz part of the overdriver is interesting. I don't use it like that at all. Like because I love just how touch sensitive it feels at lower gain settings.
Yeah.
But lately I have been kind of riding the gain up a little bit more to get more closer to that I would not call it fuzzy, but it's like if you have if drive is here or boost is here, drive is here somewhere, and fuzz is here somewhere, kind of in between that drive and fuzz world has been.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of actually the Bassman version of Edge of Breakup. It's like kind of spitty, almost in a way.
The Bassman version of Edge of Breakup? What do you mean?
Yeah, because so I had a 65 Bassman. I don't know if yours is like this. When I would get to like that Edge of Breakup, it was a really dynamic amp, but when it got to that Edge of Breakup area, it was kind of, I don't want to say farty, but it was very spitty. The one that I had.
Okay.
And mine was modded with the transformers to have 8 ohm output. And whatever else they did to redo all the caps and all that stuff. And I think at the time I didn't appreciate it, but I do now, and I shouldn't have gotten for that. But I think the overdriver can kind of do something like that too.
This is why you don't sell gear; you just keep accumulating.
Just keep accumulating, dude. I had this AC30 mahogany.
Gear is Bitcoin. That's what gear is. Gear is Bitcoin. Never sell.
And if you find something special, hold on to it. Don't
Yeah.
sell it. It's not
Yeah.
worth it.
I have a problem. I sell everything, so
You really do. You really do.
I can't hold on to anything. I sell it. If I'm not using it, it's gonna get sold.
So so let's talk about this. What is your threshold for that? Is it like, oh, I haven't used it in 2 weeks, I'm going to sell it, or it's like, oh, I haven't used this in like a year or like 8 months or 10 months? What's your threshold for that?
Yeah, if it's like a couple weeks, I'm probably gonna sell it. If I haven't used it in like a year, it's probably because it's useless and I'm gonna throw it in the trash. that's like it's probably just sitting like, yeah, ain't nobody gonna buy this, so I'm just gonna throw it away. You know, that's usually what happens there. I have a problem. I definitely I feel like I'm the opposite of a hoarder, because my wife would be like, yo, like, where's this thing at? And I'm like, oh shoot, I threw that away. I'm like, we didn't need it. It was just taking up space. You know.
I need you to come to my house and help me clean then.
Well, I cannot. I would rather throw it away and just rebuy it than it sit in the corner or take up space for a year or something, you know. And that just obviously trickles over to gear. Like, if I'm not going to use it, I'm just going to sell it and use the money to buy something else that I will use, you know.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you're probably going to sell your tiered board as well?
I already did.
Dude, are you having to ship it somewhere?
No, it's a friend of mine that's local to me.
Oh,
I hit him up. He was like, "Yeah, I want it." I was like, "All right, bro."
Dude, when I sold my my 2-tier board with the safe case thing, it was the worst experience in terms of shipping. Because I want to say I sold the board for maybe like, I think the board and case for like $350 or whatever. And the shipping that was like $160 because of just how high it was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm
Did
like,
you pirate ship that, or did you just like go to FedEx and it's like, hey, pack this up for me?
dude, I always just go to FedEx. Like,
that's the
oh, okay, Mr. Anti-Hoarder's gonna talk to me about boxes
pirate
and
ship.
stuff.
Look, I got boxes ready to go just in case I need to sell something.
Yeah, sounds like trash that you need to throw away, Anthony.
I've got boxes up there, guitar boxes, in case I need to ever sell something.
Okay, okay, hold on. Small boxes, yes, and like pedal boxes, yes, all day. That is definitely the topic of contention in my marriage. About like, why do you have all these boxes? Well, because these things will sell for a higher price when I sell it.
Idiots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I keep boxes, but for boards, there really aren't boxes for big boards.
No.
I just cut a guitar box in half, you know, and then
yeah. Well, yeah. So that's what we did. Yeah. So that's what we did when I shipped the board to you, because it was gonna be a hell of a lot cheaper just to use a guitar box, throw the board in the soft case, already protected, just like, and tape it up and whatever, and we're good to go. But yeah. Pirate ship is the best. David Yossi just said.
That's what I said, bro. Because I can ship a guitar for like $30 on there. You know, it could be from Florida to Seattle, and it's like $35. You know. So,
interesting.
Yeah, you're getting bent over, man. FedEx, they're bending you over. If you ever walk into the store, it's always like UPS is the same way. They do the same thing.
Well, so here's the thing. So like, if I'm selling a pedal, then I have a million Amazon boxes I can just use to put the pedal and tape it up, and then it's like $15 to ship. That's fine. But for big things, like, dude, I don't have big boxes around.
You can buy the boxes on Amazon.
You can?
These boxes right here. These boxes right there above that thing. They're guitar boxes. I bought them on Amazon for like $20. It was like a pack of 5.
Okay. Fair.
I just dumpster dived at a local guitar shop.
I got too many kids for that. They don't got enough time to get them.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the shop owners
honestly,
like,
dude, I barely like the time I have to go out and actually drive to FedEx to ship, because I still hold, even with the, like, even though like the cost to ship the board and everything was expensive and all that kind of stuff, I would so much rather use FedEx and UPS or USPS because it's like it just gets there faster. No matter what, it just gets there faster.
I mean, you need to pirate ship. That's what you need to do. And then number 2 is sign up because FedEx does it. UPS, all that stuff. They'll pick it up from your house for free. I mean, UPS you have to pay, which is stupid.
UPS is the worst. UPS is the most expensive.
Yeah.
They take the longest, and their app is the worst.
That's all you gotta do.
UPS.
I'll teach you, Jimmy. We'll teach you the new ways.
Okay. And I'll teach you the ways of amps.
I need help. I mean, it sounds good. It sounds good to me.
Yeah. You sound at least 25% better.
Just by default.
I just put the mics, close to that little cone somewhere in there.
Dude, so you know what I took away from my time with the Bethel guys during our church recording was mic placement, and I've been changing up my mic placement recently to be similar to theirs. Basically, find the edge of the speaker and just use two knuckles. Two knuckles, put it right there.
The edge of the speaker, not the center?
Yes.
Like the outside?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
David just hopped off. It's fine. Bye, David.
He was like, "Yo, I'm out."
Yeah. So like, if this is your speaker, he was literally just like, yeah, just get your second knuckle, lay it flat, and then just lay it on the edge of the speaker, and just put it right there.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have to try that.
And the interesting thing is, I liked how it sounded because it kind of tapers off a little bit of the extra harsh high stuff that can be added accumulatively with like drive pedals and boosts and whatever. So it kind of like almost acts like a what is it?
Like
is it
low
a
pass or something?
Yeah. Yes. It kind of subtly acts like a low pass on your guitar. And then as a result of that, then you can actually push a little bit more of your high end stuff a little bit more because then you won't be getting that directly from the cone type thing. Because, dude, I've always done edge of the inner cone part of it, and then just dial my amps from there. And recently I switched the other way. I'm like, I think I kind of like this. My sound guy though, I think he prefers it the other way around because he was like, yeah, like it really works on your other guitarist's rig, but for you, I still want a little bit of that teeth, the closer to the center of the cone gives. And so we're finding a little bit of a compromise.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that. The thing is, we don't have like a professional sound guy, so he don't know what he's doing, and they just it all sounds the same to him, no matter what I do.
Yeah, it's a guitar. It sounds like a guitar.
I turned it up.
Throw your 57 on the cab like this.
Bro, every time I go back there, because we have, it's just in a hallway, and every time I go back there, it's like someone like bumped it or something, and it's the mic's like over here pointing down. I'm like, bro, at least put it back somewhere, somewhat close.
What you need to get are these. They actually make one that has a little clamp on it. So these are they're literally just called amp clamp. This one that I have comes with like a second part that you would actually screw into like the bottom of your amp or side of your amp. That you would just like slide it in. But they make one that has a little like adjustment thing on it where you can actually like it'll like lock down at the very bottom of your amp and like the top of the whatever, like right where the grill cloth meets like the actual frame of the amp.
Yeah.
Tighten it down real nice, and you tighten it, and then you just have 57 just kind of sitting off here, going straight in. Super low profile. Awesome.
I'm gonna have to do that. I got a guy building me some boxes now.
Oh, nice. And I think they were like $20 each or something like that. So not a ton.
I'm gonna have to do that because he was trying to figure out how he's gonna because it's an older guy. He's building me a box because I don't know what I'm doing with wood. And he's like, so are these mics supposed to be in there? And I'm like, yeah. Like, well, am I supposed to mic it? Like, oh, it's gonna make the box bigger. And I was like, yeah.
That's fine.
So it'll be interesting. We'll see how that ISO boxes turn out.
Are you planning on building it up, like where it's like two stacked on top of each other and then like a door, or is it just gonna be like a big box you put all the way around it?
I think we were just talking about just doing two separate ones, like two separate boxes. Because the room, so it can be more moverable. Because it's like a storage / all our amps are back there / people go back there to get water bottles,
Gotcha.
Everything, it's not a green room, but it's just a bunch of stuff back there.
Yeah.
So it has to be able to kind of be moved around a little bit just in case people gotta do stuff.
One thing that might be worthwhile to look into is instead of doing like boxes, just get a shelf and then on the back side of the shelf put a bunch of like rock wool or like sound isolation.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically then what that'll do is that'll give you places to put like super low profile like desktop looking amp like desktop looking mic little holder things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could literally just put like, I mean, if you wanted to build a door that could swing over and then just put a bunch more of sound absorption on there, that can work too. Because building it up, I find, is a little bit lower profile in the context of the whole room. Because then, I mean, you could literally just go to Lowe's and get one of like the heavy duty shelves, put some wood down there. Put some sound absorption on the backside. It's literally what we do. We have like our amp setup is kind of janky in terms of how it's actually laid out. It's like the heavy industrial Lowe's metal shelf, like 350 pounds of like steel and stuff like that, and it's a big pain to actually disassemble. Dude, we don't even have like plywood for the bottoms. We had like leftover wood I found, and I literally just put the amps on that leftover wood on the wire rack type thing. And then we just have a bunch of like old a bunch of like sound absorption fiberglass panels that will like are all over the walls and everything, which basically every surface in that room has sound absorption on it. And then we just will manually put like a long, like 4 or 5 foot wide panel in front of the amps whenever we're getting ready to play, and we want to take it off or move mic position. We just pick it up, move it, then make our mic position, and go back to it.
Yeah, I think the second Sunday that I was using the amps, I had one of the camera people went back there.
Oh gosh.
For some, like, she decided to go back there, and like the door, there's like 2 entrances, one on the stage and one right where the crowd is.
Yeah.
And no matter which door you open, it's loud as crap. It just barrels out of the thing. And she went back there and left the door open. I was like,
oh gosh.
He's like, go back there and shut the door.
Yeah. So just a shelf with some sound absorption will probably lower that by like 30 dB.
Yeah, that's what
which I need. Which means the room will still be loud, but it won't be like, holy cow, this is deafening in the room.
Yeah, you could definitely. Yeah, I want to take a dB meter and just measure it because it's loud. It's freaking loud.
Oh, it's definitely 100 and something dB.
And one of the guys today was like, "Can you just turn them down?" And I was like, "No." Like, he's like, "Why can't you just turn them down?" I'm like, "Well, because."
Yeah.
I don't want to.
The amps have a sweet spot to where they respond the best. That's really it.
Good times.
That's so funny. All right. Well, I'm gonna head off. It is it's late, y'all. Thanks for joining me for Wednesday Night Live. We do this every single Wednesday, sometimes with friends and other times alone. See you all in the next one.
Yeah.